Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Evening Flow Show, and I'm your host, Gus Taimoko, also known as GeeTee Advocate. Remember, you can subscribe on our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram as well, like and comment, share with all your friends. Today is a very amazing day as I have one of the finest in Delta State. I have Beeskit right here with me. He's an entertainer and lots more. We'll get into all that after this time out. Alright guys, welcome back to the Evening Flow Show. This is still Gus Taimoko and I'm live here with Beeskit of Beeskit Hive. Good afternoon, Beeskit.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. You're looking amazing. I love the shades and the whole outfit,
You know, everywhere is hot, man, so we have to put on the shade. You can't see me, I can't see you.
You can't see me, Okay, let's get into the questions real quick. Can we know a few things about you?
Okay, my name is Evans Ike, aka Beeskit, also known as the Ukah as well, the only internet chief in the Africa Kingdom, live and direct. I'm a comedian, a content creator, and I'm also into real estate. Yeah.
Okay, how does it feel to manage everything? You are a comedian, a content creator, and you are also into the real estate sector as well. How are you able to manage all these things? Because creating content alone, it's a whole lot of work, and also real estate, which involves running around from this part of the world. So how are you able to blend all these things and still survive?
I'm a person who believes in multitasking. I'm also a person who likes to have multiple streams of income. So what is going to help me is timing. I keep to time, even though I think I find it a little bit problematic to keep to time. But it's all about timing. But what's certain is that one aspect needs more of your time. And the fact that I'm into real estate, it takes more of my time. But whatever spare time I get, I always make sure that I satisfy the need to create content.
Yeah, for your audience.
Yeah, for my audience. Then as a comedian, as a stand-up comedian and MC, that is seasonal. I mostly get my shows mostly Saturdays and Sundays, except during the ember periods where I'm always super busy. So for now, it's real estate and content at the spare. And on the weekend, is MC and stand-up.
Okay, let's talk about your content creation. I follow you religiously. I watch lots of your skits, and I noticed that you are from Delta State, Ukah land, and I noticed that you use the dialect. It's not like random Nigerian pidgin English, Nigerian English. You infuse the dialect. Why is that?
The reason why I do that is simply because I'm a cultural advocate. I like to promote my culture. In literature, we call it Africanist. I'm part of the Africanist movement in my own level. So I try as much as possible to promote my culture using the language, Ukah dialects, to make sure that it goes far to Ukah people, especially those in diaspora and those who feel that the Ukah language is dying off. Because according to UNESCO, a lot of language will die off within the next 20 years. So it's like a challenge to us to make sure that we infuse Ukah language in everything we do, to make sure that people get to know it, trying to like put Ukah in the map so that people like, okay, what is this language that sounds like Igbo but it's not Igbo?
Yeah. That's nice. Let's talk briefly about literature. In literature, there is something they say that no author writes or content creator creates content out of thin air. It's basically a product of their environment, their upbringing, and all that. So let's talk about your comedy, the comedy industry that your own sphere. Let's talk about how your background contributed into you becoming a comedian. What led to all this? Your background, education, and all that. How did it contribute towards you becoming a content creator, a comedian?
It runs in the family. I think it started from my father.
Wow.
My father is a businessman into the transport business. But back then in the village, he usually organizes concerts. It's a parody concert whereby whatever that happens in the village for that year, they'll come out, especially it occurs during December period. So whatever happens in the village that year, they will parodize it and do it in form of a play, a parody,
Wow.
kind of a mock parody. They turn it to comedy. So my dad headed that aspect of entertainment in the village for a long while in his youth age. So apart from that, I come from a house whereby everyone is funny. Like the funniest person in my house is my mom. Like that woman knows how to throw jibes. She doesn't flog, but her tongue is
I
worse
think you
than-
picked up from her because the few minutes we spent here, I've been cracking my ribs.
Yeah. So aside that too, aside being from a family whereby everyone is funny in their own way, I also grew up in an environment that has elderly ones. If you listen to my comedies, you'll discover that I use a lot of proverbs, and my dialect is not what you get every day as far as the car language is concerned.
Yeah.
I usually go deeper. So hanging out with those elderly ones, I get a lot of proverbs, a lot of new dictions and intonations of the car language. So it aided me. Then me myself on my own, I think I had to choose comedy because as a young boy, I was bullied when I went to the village. Yes, I was bullied in the sense that everybody in that village were picking on me because I came from the town. And I couldn't talk without them talking back at me. And when they talk back at me, I would just start crying because I didn't have that courage to talk back. So they love to make fun of me. So it was that was how I developed a thick skin, and I went into comedy not because I just woke up as a comedian. No, I went into comedy because I was good at making fun of things. Like that was how I did it. Okay, you yard me, I yard you back. Yeah, so it was how the comedy aspect. And to entice you that I started my comedy at a very tender age. I did my first stand-up when I was, I think, 8 years.
Wow, 8 years.
Primary 5.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
What was the platform about? Was it a church or something?
No, it was a birthday party. We went there at the birthday party. So they said, if you are a good comedian, just come out. I didn't know what pushed me on. I just came out that day. And they said, crack jokes. So I just came out. I was like, I still remember what I said that day. I said, my name is GeeTee Ukah. I'm in primary 5 from the prime nursery and primary school. And I want to say a joke. That was the introduction. And the next thing they heard was, you get one day. One guy, they complain, say, they beat him babe. You don't know who beat him babe. So when the babe tell him, say, they beat me, say, who beat you? Say, no, I'm bros. They don't meet. When he reach where the bros, the guy and me. So instantly, everything where the guy they talk, as you see the army man, he keep quiet. Now the army man question and say, now you won't beat me because I slap your babe. The guy not talk. The army man tell and say, who you be? The guy not talk. After everything, now the guy drag his babe go house. Now they tell and say, honey, you don't love me. Why you go there, the person could beat you in front of me, you not do anything. And the guy tell and say, who tell you say I not do anything? You don't know, say when they slap you, they shout for you. My hand dey inside pocket, they tell and waka. So that was, I think that was what I said that day that blew everybody up, and I was like,
wow.
Oh, so this guy funny. Yeah, that was just
interestingly, you did this like years back, and it's funny because this thing is one of the things we see content creators, most of these popular Instagram comedians, they act the same thing you just said, but in a different way. So it's quite funny. And you said you attended primary group of school. Yeah. Funny enough, I also attended that school.
Yeah, I think I record you were in primary, Papa my junior. So.
Oh, obviously. It's really nice to link up. Okay, let's talk about you using the Ukah dialect. Okay. Give us one proverb from the Ukah dialect. There's this one I heard. It's quite funny, but I love it. They say, "Anole here, yes, senentiora."
Oh yeah.
That means no hear word. Now make it hear the receive slap. Yeah. So let's hear one from you.
Some say
that's deep.
I like to create mine. There was one I said, say, okay, you call shark man. Hello, cool, cool, when you. So it's part of it. I can go spontaneously. You understand? Yeah.
Okay. I'm all cracked up. Let's talk about the audience response to your comedy. How do your audience take the comedy, especially those within Ekaland, of course, you use most of the dialect, so they tend to understand most of the things you are doing. They tend to understand it more. How do they take it? Those in Nigeria, those outside, those in diaspora as well. So, how do they take it?
Like the truth of it, of everything is the response has always been massive. You know, I think started out as you know, I usually do my team Pidgin and English and all that. So when I left school after graduation, came back to Agbo to start off afresh. I was doing the normal comedy I was doing, but nobody was giving a hoot about it. So,
They're not send you.
nobody. So I was just sitting at the table one hot afternoon like that, and I took my camera. I remember one old phone I used to use then. I just took my camera at the dining table. Then I said something like, I was just thinking state and capital, state and capital, state and capital. So I record everything, this stereotype that is in Agbo. If you are from this village, they tend to tag you this. If you are from that village, they tend to tag you that.
Yeah, I think it's coming back. I remember.
Yeah, so I just sat in front of my camera and said, state and capital, capital in Agbo, and the Okada, as well, and then Bob, Menede, Asha, all this.
Yeah,
So immediately I
saw
saw that
it.
video, it went viral. Like, everybody was like, where is this guy from? Initially, they said, this guy is an old man. Hey, bro, come back and
Yeah, you look very old in your
Yeah.
skit with your costume and that glass.
So after that, I discovered that, okay, this is my niche. This is where my power is. Let me focus on it. Then I see myself, whenever I try to speak Pidgin in my content creation, people will just come and be like, no, if you don't add a car, we'll not watch again. If you don't, I was like, I need to cross boundary to other audience. They say this one you have is enough for you. So it's a problem and a blessing in disguise, in the sense that I didn't know that my work has crossed over to a lot of countries. I did get calls from India, from Malaysia, Canada, from UK, from US, from Brazil. I did get a lot of calls. Some people used to give me work, do shout out for me, use the car language and all that. But I'm like Oliver Twist. I still want more, and I still want to cross more boundaries. But for now, when we are doing well, we need to focus on it and develop on it.
Oh, nice. This has been an amazing time. But before we leave, let's get what's next for you. What should your audience be expecting? Moving on. What's next?
Okay. What's next for me right now is
the producer is saying marriage.
When the producer is trying to force you to do something that he has refused to do. The problem is somewhere, because I can tell you now that the producer is older than me with like 5 to 10 years.
Yes, obviously.
And he's not yet married. So when your ancestor is telling you to get married, it means something is wrong somewhere. So what you should expect from me in next few years, I'm this kind of person that I flow with the tide.
Okay.
I'm not the kind of person that will tell you, next 5 years I'll be doing this. No.
Nah, yeah.
I live my life as it comes.
You can never tell.
You
Yeah.
can never tell. So what I can only tell you is that I'm also transitioning, trying to test waters, and I'm trying to move a little bit out of my comfort zone, using the dialect. I want to try the Pidgin and the English aspect. So there's this wonderful project we did collectively with all comic acts in the town. It's called Our Yard.
Yes, I saw the clip here.
Yeah, so that is what is on ground. And I believe that project will take us to the next level, because it was shot and acted with a lot of good hands and a lot of talents. You understand? So that is one thing I know will take us to the next level. But one thing is certain: if you watch that movie, that series, you will still hear where I was speaking one or two above.
Yeah.
It's always there. So that's it.
Okay, for those who don't know about our yard, it's dropping this April. Once it drops, we'll do our best to ensure that we bring the whole crew down to the studio for an interactive session and learn a few things. It's a comic series. You have to see it, certainly. I've seen some of the clips and I love it so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine.
Okay, before we go, we'll have Beeskit do the hot seat session. We'll set him on fire.
People want to expose me.
Stay tuned.
Hey.